Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. I'll just line up that camera so it's actually on me properly. But we're doing a little bit of hobby and hanging out tonight. Hope you're all doing grand. We're just going to be starting to work on finishing our Rohan Force we started the other day. So, well, the other month now. I say other day, but it was other month. Been a little under the weather, and then the festive period just after that. So, great stuff. But move some of these larger bubbles out my wet palette. It's been an absolute scorcher here in Australia as well. Especially in my part of Australia, we've had like 40-degree days back to back. So it's been like completely unable to paint. Like I put my wet palette out and the wet palette would dry out like in a matter of minutes. It's just completely unable to paint, which sucked. But we're back at it, so we'll get this Rohan Force finished. I would like to have this Rohan army done by the end of the year. I think is a good plan. Hades Death God, hello mate, how are we? Hello to everyone watching. If you are watching, let us know what hobby you're working on, what you've been up to, and don't forget to hit the like. Helps people come find and chat with us while we're here. So we're working on the dark leather at the moment. This is mostly just all the strapping on the models and the boots. Dominator, yeah. I am massively into my Warhammer. Miniature, well, I should say miniature wargaming. Warhammer is by far, what I probably play the most of, but that doesn't mean it's by any means the only miniature wargame I play. If you've seen a bit on the channel, we play quite a few different miniature games, which is awesome. Variety is that spice of life, as they say. So we're just getting the first highlight on the dark leather. So we are I'm getting into Middle Earth, so we're going to see a bit more Middle Earth content on the channel. Get some back reps up. We've already had like the Getting Started series that we do for a lot of the games we look at. And we're doing that for the Middle Earth. So I've gone through the Middle Earth armies, but we'll be going through the Hobbit soon as well. Going through all the different Hobbits type armies, which will be fun. And while we are catching people at the start of the stream, don't forget we have extended, mainly due to me being ill, we've extended the little giveaway we were going to do for Christmas until New Year's. And so for anyone that is a Patreon YouTube member of any level or donates to the channel or buys merch, you'll go into the draw, which will give you the chance to win a nice big hobby box with a bunch of stuff from different sponsors, which will include dice from a couple of our different sponsors. It'll include a Warcry or Kill Team sized game mat from Mithras Games, some MDF terrain, some miniatures from a couple of different companies that we can get support from, and a bunch of other goodies like some hobby materials, some paints and stuff like that. So that will be going up up, and we'll be doing the draw on New Year's. That is Australian New Year's. So yeah, if you want to jump in on that, you just have to be a Patreon or YouTube members. YouTube members get the cool little emotes in chat. You get a couple, and once we hit 25, we'll be looking to get some more emotes for our chat, which our YouTube members and Patrons will get to decide on. But anyway, enough of that. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone's had a good holiday period. Whatever it is you do over the holidays, I hope you had a good time, whether it's, Christmas with family and friends or other holidays and festivities, or indeed you don't celebrate anything. It's just another day to you, whatever it is around the world. Hope you had a good time. You either enjoyed some days off, enjoyed some days with some good holiday pay, or spent some time with those that mean the most to you. Did anyone get some hobby underneath their in their stockings or anything for Christmas? Get any hobby goodies for Christmas from anyone? Oh, nice. Holiday in Surfers Paradise. Awesome, man. Enjoy yourself. We hosted family. We just have like little localized family Christmas here. So just like parents and siblings of me and the wife. No one more than that. Just gets a bit too much for my daughter otherwise. And then we had like friends over yesterday, so we catch up with like a couple of people you've seen on the channel recently or helped with stuff on the channel. My good mates had a couple of them over and their partners, and so apparently no, Hades. Those 40k battle forces, apparently there was supposed to be a bunch of updated supplements for Warhammer 40k for the Space Marines that just haven't, due to whatever reasons GW is having with production, haven't come out on time, aren't going to be released, are just literally being wrote off. Apparently, it was supposed to be Space Marine supplements, updated ones to get you through like the last year of 9th. Apparently, that's no longer a thing. So they've got these boxes of miniatures all pre-packed, and so they just used them as Christmas boxes. Apparently, that's literally it. Really hard to get back into painting Death Guard. I'm going to suggest, if you're struggling to really get back into painting, check out Slapchop. Go search Slapchop on the internet. It's a great way for just getting some miniatures painted to a decent quality, using very, very simple and quick techniques. I couldn't recommend it enough. Like, underbrushing or whatever you want it to call. Who cares? It's great for breaking that mojo. Like, even when I'm painting like to a much higher quality, I like to break up my painting, doing a couple of models in Slapchop or in underbrushing. It just really helps sort of, detailed project, quick little character here with Slapchop. Helps break it up and really just get you motivated to get some more painting done. You know, you all of a sudden you finish this massive project of like this army, and then all of a sudden you'll slap chop out 5 miniatures and be like, cool, I've done another project. You know, slap chop up a Warcry warband or a kill team or something like that. You know, even just a random model you have laying around. You know, go buy a D&D miniature to slap chop up. Really helps me with keeping that mojo moving forward. Rob from the Honest Wargamer did a fantastic video. Like, it's a bunch of fun. Like, he's by no means a painting expert, and he'll be the first to say it, but it's a way that he uses to get himself painting when painting is not necessarily his best or favorite thing in the hobby. But looking at Path to Glory, like you said, you're doing that for AOS. Maybe try Crusade in 40k as well, because you can start smaller in Crusade. Start with like 500 points and work to getting that 500 points painted. That could be another way of going about it. If like it gets daunting, I know a lot of people that buy so heavily into the game at the start, and they go, because everyone's sort of, I guess, and like we're all at fault for it. I guess all of us on the internet when we talk about 2,000 points. That being the standard size game for both game systems in Warhammer. I think breaking up your army into smaller chunks to get games in quicker with them is a really good way to help. Yeah, pardon me. Get that painting done. You start off with 500 and you go, cool, I'm going to play 500-point games with a painted army. And playing with a painted army will spur you on as well to get you painting more, because you'll be like, cool, this was awesome. I played on with a painted army against my opponent's painted army on a painted table at a GW store or wherever it is you game. And it will really help get you like motivated to get some more paint on those models. And then, you can add or, as little or as much as you want. And it'd be like, cool, I'm going to add this next unit that's 100 points. So now we're going to play 600-point games. Or I'm going to add this tank that's 250 points. So now we're going to play 750-point games next. I think that can be a really big way to get you motivated, trying to, if you've got a lot of miniatures to paint, breaking it up and trying to get smaller armies to play with before you try and get, work through this massive project. But I'm guilty of it here. Like, this Rohan force is like, I've got like 900 points of Rohan here, which for Middle Earth, like 650 is like our 2K game. To put into perspective, 650 is like the 2K game for Middle Earth. I'm paying like 900 points, so I've got options of like what I want to play. Whether I can play all infantry Rohan, or I can play majority mounted Rohan. I can play quite a large contingent of Rohirrim. I got a couple more characters than what I need. That definitely helps me get like stuff painted. Yeah, like 1,000 points is like huge for Middle Earth. 1,000 points is a lot for Middle Earth. Well, first, now where's the brown I want? Finding every other color but the brown I want. What am I even looking for? Gotho brown. There we go, Gothel Brown. Oh, nice. Funnily enough, Middle Earth were my first ever miniatures because you had a painting. Was my first miniature was a Last Alliance elf. Way back in the day when Lord of the Rings first came out. That's sort of when I was old enough to get into Warhammer. And from there, yeah, we just I got Last Alliance elf painted out. Was my first ever mini. Um, good, my man. Dude, what are we here if we're not here to talk a little bit about ourselves and create a community and feel comfortable to share with each other? But yeah, man, you'd probably be around the same age as me. I sort of remember Middle Earth around that time. But yeah, it's been a wild ride since then, and then I got into fantasy, and then 40k, and from there it's just spiraled into an unhealthy obsession. You should, Hades, on the bottom corner of the chat, there should be a little dollar thing. You can put in like $2 is all it takes because that's the minimum Patreon and thing. Same, keep it fair for all the Patreons and YouTube members. TP Grant, hello, how are we? Oh, nice, TP Grant, awesome, man. Yeah, super chat's fine. Super chat is fine. Like the majority of YouTube's really good with donations. I keep like all donations. I keep like 90% off. So don't stress about the money going to some big bad corporation. YouTube is actually much better than Twitch in its donate, like where the donations go. Super chat is fine. It's also the safest way for everyone to donate to the channel, just because, you know, neither of us get the other one's bank details, which I quite like with it. Hades, thank you very much for donating to the channel and for the giveaway. That'll get you entered into the giveaway. It's mostly a giveaway to help all the people who've, you know, really made a big difference into supporting the channel, which is mostly our Patreon and YouTube members. But at least, you know, we want to open it up to everyone. So fair that everyone pays the same price a Patreon and YouTube member is paying to be entered. I think that is the that was my thinking behind the cost of donations to get entry. I think that is fair. But anyway, other stuff. Has anyone got any hobby New Year's resolutions they want to do hobby wise? Like any things they want to do, they want to complete, they want to attempt to do, achieve, or stuff like that for their hobby in the new year? Get through your pile of shame. Like I always think that finishing off your pile of shame is such an unachievable goal because, like by nature, we enjoy what we're spending our money on in Warhammer. And you know, while I'm saying, you know, you should definitely have healthy spending habits, and you should definitely, you know, buy within your means. I think like it's unthinkable that you don't buy anything else for a year for the hobby. There's bound to be something somewhere, whether it's paints, a new paintbrush, you know, there's going to be something you want for your hobby. There's going to be a miniature that every year that more than likely a miniature from some company somewhere that you go, wow, I want that. So when I do like pile of shame, I think a good goal for pile of shame is always to try and paint more models than I buy. Even if it is by one model, it means at least your pile of shame or your pile of potential, as some may call it, is shrinking. That is generally my goal, is painting more than I buy. I also do, though, in my defense, with that, if I sell miniatures, I count them against, because like that is decreasing my pile of shame still. So every sold miniature effectively counts as a painted miniature. See, Ziggy, that's completely fine, man. I think that's a fine way. Like that would literally what I just said of like selling miniatures. I count as effectively painting a miniature. If you gave some away to a local school club, then that's achieving your pile of shame in a good way. Like it's not like you just threw them in the bin. You did do something, you know. Like you might not have made any money back on them, but you've done a good cause on that. You know, I gave a bunch, like when I moved in with my wife and like stuff just had to get shrunk. I gave my entire Black Library collection to a local school club. So, like, because it's just, I just didn't have place for the books. And as much as I enjoyed them, it's like, I'm not one to go back and read a book again. Like, not very often anyway. So I was like, well, school can have them. Like, this would be good literature. Like, you know, Warhammer, while it can be, I guess, slightly violent, they are very careful to make them PG rated in a lot of Warhammer books. I think my big goal for next year was I would like to have every game I have in this room playable. It doesn't mean I have to have every miniature I own for every game painted, but I would like, you know, I've got the Marvel Crisis Protocol box set. I've got Song of Ice and Fire miniatures that I haven't built or painted. I mean, you don't have to build Song of Ice and Fire, but I haven't painted them. They're still in the box. They're still in their little packaging. I would like to have all the games I own in here playable. Especially since a lot of them are very like indie games, and if you've noticed, we're like doing Moonstone and now doing Umbra Tourist. I really enjoy talking about these lesser-known games and giving them a bit of spotlight. I'm not fussed if the views don't get it there. You know, I don't care if 50 people watch a video on Umbra Tourist. But if I can give that game a space and a place to show it off and give it the light, I will. I really enjoy showing off. Umbra Tourist is really, really fun. Speaking of that, first of all, you have sentient jack-o'-lantern people. Like, what's not cool about that? I've actually got a Diniac Force. Yeah, like that's what I've swapped over to, like Ziggy. So when I'm not streaming and painting, I'm generally listening to an audiobook and painting. I actually have finished 52 audiobooks this year now. And not only have pretty much read every listened to every audio release on Audible this year, but also like catching up on other stories. Like I started re-listening to Horus Heresy. I've caught up with, you know, the Priests of Mars book. Started Farsight, started the Dawn of Fire series, started the Beast of Rising series. And then started listening to some other like big ones I sort of missed. Twice Dead King, Reign came out this year. Then even like some old classics, like Titanic has actually came out on Audible this year, really early this year, which was really fun to listen to. I remember listening. Unfortunately, like even though I've got a massive room, because like unfortunately, I mean not unfortunately, because like this is my full-time job. This is what I do for a living now. Making content about little toy soldiers. Yeah, like I've had Audible for 2 years now, and I've got like 100 books on there that are all listened to, and I've got a pile that like, because every time like I go to buy a new, because like I'll finish a book first and I'll go to buy a new book and I'll be like, oh, this new book came out. Oh, but 3 new books came out this week, so I'll just buy all 3 of them. It's just, you know, it's like, oh, I'm saving $10 if I'm getting one book for $5. And I've got the Black Library app as well because that's actually cheaper to get the short stories on because you can sort of buy them separate for like $3 or $4. Currently on audio, I'm currently finishing Hammers of Sigmar First Forged by Richard Strachan, which is really cool. There's a character called Lord Cinder, which I am just claiming that is me in Age of Sigmar now. I'm a Age of Sigmar official character. Especially since I really like Richard Strachan as an author, and he knows it. I'm totally claiming that that's me in Age of Sigmar, that I'm a Lord Selston. Oh, Godsbane was really cool. Really enjoyed that by Dale Lucas. Yeah, that was a really fun read. It was a massive read. I remember first finding that on audio because a lot of Black Library books are between 10 and 13 hours. And on Audible, that is, I think it's 18 hours. It's a big book. I think the longest one I read this year was Thunderstruck and Other Stories, and that was almost 22 hours. Was the biggest listen I did this year. Oh, nice. Yeah. And I don't cheat with my audiobooks. I do not put my audiobooks on speed up. I can't, because I'm not entirely focusing on them. I am painting when I'm doing them. I can't put them on fast play. It needs to sort of be talking pace. Yeah, no, they sound really cool. Oh, well, I mean, you've read a couple of really good ones there. I really enjoyed Gloomspite. Dynasty of Monsters, I think, is probably one of the best Age of Sigmar novels I think there is. I would almost say the best. I think Dynasty of Monsters was absolutely fantastic. Gloomspite was really cool. I get why some people don't like Gloomspite. It's because it was called Gloomspite, and it's not about Gloomspite at all. It's about people surviving a Gloomspite invasion, but is what it is. But yeah, Gloomspite was really fun. I really enjoy it. I think, funnily enough, because I'll have my videos coming out. Like, I have like my best of Black Library this year coming out soon. What are some of my favorite? Like Dynasty of Monsters I read this year. I'm pretty sure it didn't come out this year though. I think it came out last year in December. But I do post-mortem awards for books I really enjoy. Soul Slayer was amazing. Wasn't my favorite. I think I liked Git Slayer better. I'm going to say Soul Slayer, I think, tugged on the heartstrings a lot more. But I think I did prefer Git Slayer as a story. Yeah, that's true. Like, it feels like Soul Slayer was definitely setting up the next sort of narrative arc of Gotrek. I think he's finally sort of set in the mortal realm. Well, I think with Git Slayer, Gotrek was finally Gotrek was finally fleshed out completely in the mortal realms. I think with that story with Git Slayer. So Soul Slayer was definitely the bridge to where we're going next. Soul Slayer is against the Idnef Deepkin, the fish elves. I mean, the biggest fourth-ed dwarf hints you can get is with Grombrindle, which was amazing. I really, really liked Grombrindle. Grombrindle was fantastic. So Grombrindle's like, like the Thunderstrike and other stories, a Crusade and other stories, all those Soul Wars and other stories, all those sort of leading stories, I guess, that come out with the edition. They're sort of like that. So the first part of it is a lot of the Black Library stories. Sorry, not the Black Library, the White Dwarf stories printed properly and sort of amended to make them all fit. So you get a lot of that with background Brindle, but then full like 2/3 of the book are one story, which are really, really cool. Oh, yeah. You mean, he's too high up. I've got one up there. I've got an INF army I've got to finish. Or should I say, an INF army I've got to finish. That was so bad. I am sorry, everyone. Oops. I mean, I am a dad. Could have 2 little ones. Have you actually read it now, Hades? Nah, you need to read it, man. You won't hate Go Trek if you read it. You never see the death on screen. So I'll tell you that. You never see it on the screen. Um, how's that going? Cool. Bat wrap I've been rendering on the other computer has almost finished, so we have a bat wrap. Speaking of that, Age of Sigmar fans, have people seen the new battle plans? Spoiler leaks, the battle plans are out there. They were not leaked by me or anyone that I know. There's a few good ones in there. So from what I know, the 6 that are staying are effectively the 6 that didn't have any rules with Galatian veterans. So all the ones that had anything to do with Galatian veterans, they're the ones that are gone. But the 6 they kept are pretty good. The 6 new ones, I think there's a few of them I like. There's a few that are maybe a bit too random for tournament play, but I don't think they're bad missions, if that makes sense. Like Realmstone Cache. I don't think Realmstone Cache is particularly good for tournament play, but it's a fun scenario to play with your friends. And that's okay. It's a good scenario. It's just maybe not the most competitive one, if that makes sense. And I think there's a couple, maybe only one, maybe 2 that are like that are, fun with your friends, but maybe not tournament ready or tournament usable. But that's fine. I think, if all the scenarios we get, and we've got 12 scenarios, and 9 or 10 of them are tournament competitive, and the other 3 are good, fun scenarios to play with your friends, are still enjoyable, and just maybe a little bit more random than your average tournament play scenario. I think that's a good GHB, Battletome wise, like War Scroll wise. My only thing is I absolutely hate the play this unit, oh, here's a battalion that kills this unit thing. I hate it with a passion. Absolutely hate it. Red Martin, hello, mate. How are we? No worries, Doominator. Thank you very much for dropping by. Don't forget to drop a like. If you're not already, jump in our Discord server. We've got a link in the video's description to Discord. If you want to enter yourself in the giveaway, we have Patreon and YouTube members linked in the video's description as well, and our merch store as well. So thank you for dropping by, mate. Hope to see you again soon. We'll be live every day up until New Year's, around this time. We're doing some Rohan Spearman. It does seem less impactful. I'm just still not a fan of that as an idea of design. I like the idea of the monster one of get a victory point for killing monsters, bring monsters to the table. You could do this one get a victory point if you kill a hero on an objective, or kill a hero with another hero. Make it this interesting thing for these extra points. So you're trying to get these heroes to kill each other. Could be really fun. So you're trying to get your little foot assassins actually fighting each other. I think would have been a better way to do it. Just not a fan of that as an idea. It is certainly better this season than last one, at least with characters with this many wounds. It's much easier to figure out than a keyword that didn't exist, with Galatian veterans. I definitely think it's more simple this time. I think this season will definitely be better than last season, without a doubt. That same, I think last season was my least favorite General's Handbook that has ever come out, by a country mile. And that's, you can't say I didn't play that GHB a lot. I won my first ever GT with that GHB. But it wasn't a good GHB. I think the game is in the best place it's ever been. It's an interesting topic because I don't think the game needs these changes. Like I was having this discussion where they're trying to make the seasons work on this particular unit is powerful now. This particular unit is going to be the focus of the game. I don't think that needs to happen in competitive play. Like that's good for narrative play. No worries, Iron Tiger. Thank you very much for dropping by. Stay safe, mate, and hope you get better soon. Yeah, it's the thing. I don't think it needs to. And like, because I was having a discussion, and some people were like, "Oh, but like the GHB doing this, it shakes up the meta." It's like, yeah, but they release like 6 to 12 books a year with 2 GHBs and 4 FAQs, like 4 major FAQs, along with FAQs after every release. That is enough of a shake-up in a meta, is it not? Like, I don't think we need the GHB to be doing more than just changing points and giving us new missions. I think that like missions in themselves shake up the meta. I think people think the meta needs to change more than it does. Where like every new book that comes out, the meta shakes up. It's like, cool, this army comes in the meta. People now have to deal with this thing, And if a book doesn't shake up the meta, then that's on GW for not providing a book that fits and can play in that space. Like, I don't think we need the game by getting shaken up like this. I think it does it enough, or it should if the other things are done correctly. Yeah, and exactly, like, I play a heck of games. Like, so I'm not trying to boast or anything. I'm trying to just say it how it is. Like, I play 3 or 4 games of Age of Sigmar a week, if not more sometimes. And I don't need 6-month GHBs. So what does that say about the average person? Like, even a tournament, like, I would imagine most people in chat now probably don't play as many games as I get to play, aren't as lucky. But if I can play, 4 to 8 games a week and not need a new GHB because there is enough armies, there is enough battle plans, there is enough, combinations of models within the armies, then I don't think, they need to exist. Like, this shakeup needs to exist. Like, this additional layer of shakeup. Like, I think 6 months is just way too quick. I don't mind like 6 months or like even 3 months. I don't. Ziggy? Exactly. Like, you could make a one, and they've done it before. They used to have 18 battle plans. There was at one stage where we had 18 battle plans. I think that was the last GHB of 2nd edition, was it not? Where we had 18 battle plans. Like, and that was probably the best year I think Age of Sigmar ever had. And that, of course, was adding in, we were getting the campaign supplements and armies were getting these massive changes in Broken Realms. But that goes to, like, they effectively were just battle tone or, slight tweaks and updates for each one. And, you can release those sort of updates that were coming out in Broken Realms in a White Dwarf list. Yes, those White Dwarf lists should totally be available online as well. But, like, I don't see the need for these sort of shakeups. That is literally the reason. Like, that's the thing. You get pretty much the I can't see any other reason why you would, because it doesn't like that, or they're not confident enough in their ability to make a game last like popular. Like, but yeah, they do sort of have that. So, have you actually checked out the open play section, the open world generator, battle plan generator? They do have that. I think it's a cool thing for smaller games because it's easier to implement. In larger games, I think you do just need set battle plans. I think it's just a quicker method to get games in. But yeah, certainly like there's some cool things. They actually did do a mission like that in one of the GHBs where you had different objectives actually where the game changed up. It was really cool. Um, Funnily enough, one of the new battle plans is literally the deployment and the deployment map and game we have in the core rulebook now as a match play one, which is cool, and it's one of my favorite ones. That's a cool idea, Z. Like I like that. I do. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the idea. I think I miss when the GHB was all three systems in the one book. Like was married narrative, open, and map. I do like that they're choosing to like. My big problem, like, there will definitely be a cost aspect that I don't like to it. Like, for the fact that GHB is twice as expensive as it used to be with 1/3 of the content. Um, um, I just don't like that as a thing. Like, that's, like the original GHB is effectively what we got in Thondia. Thondia would have been in the GHB. Well, they're sort of doing that, Red Martin. So they're sort of doing that. The battle plans, battle tactics, and grand strategies that are all staying are all ones that do not involve Galatian veterans. So there's some of them that are staying. Yeah, the Hunters was not good. I hated that with a passion. Um, I think another reason we could be seeing these is, let's not forget, with effectively third edition, we reset where Age of Sigmar was as a game. It's not the same game it was at second edition. It definitely added more layers. And I think we're seeing them test out things for fourth edition. And like this happens with editions where you will get these editions of the game where it clearly is an edition that's a holdover till the next edition. Like, yeah, there's without a doubt, Hades. There's like definitely a money aspect behind it. I think like that can't be understated. Hades, you're not wrong. Like, it's funny. Like all these things, these are things I use in narrative play all the time. I play so much narrative play stuff. On that note, I picked up some cool stuff to add to one of our games. I got some new toys. So I got this box for Elder Scrolls the other day, which is the Adventurers expansion, Adventurers Allies. So this contains everyone's favorite, Lydia. It's also got Kajaro, the Caravan Guard. So that's the Khajiit you meet and sort of get the Moon Amulet for. It's got a Breton Ranger, Khajiit Bandit, and an Orc Barbarian in it as well. So some lesser characters for the adventurers. And I got this one and the Stormcloak one. So what this does is these two, I've got the Stormcloak one over there. But effectively this gives 3 archers for both Stormcloaks and Imperials. And then because I've got the sword and this has the heavy Imperial soldiers in it. And the Stormcloak one I've got has sword and board Stormcloaks and Stormcloak archers. Really excited to get more of that stuff in. I love Elder Scrolls game. That's fair, man. I like a skirmish size game. I'm getting more and more into skirmish games. I think, yeah, the mix is what I enjoy. Elder Scrolls are just nice miniatures. If you ever want just something cool to paint, recommend. That would be amazing. I think the next one we're getting, so they've started sort of talking about what we're getting next. Apparently, the next set is going to be Dragonborn. So apparently, we're getting the what's his name? From the Dragonborn DLC. Yeah, the Dragonborn DLC. I can't remember his name. The bad dude from that. So apparently we're getting the Dragon Cultists and some other Dragonborn and the Dragon Priests and stuff like that. Which is cool. So we've just got the Dawn Guard and Mirak. That's it. Thank you. So we're getting him and his Dragonborn stuff. So yeah, getting him and his cultists and more Dragonborn and apparently Dragon Priests and stuff like that all added. Be cool to see if we get like the Ash monsters and all that sort of stuff. I feel like Companions is by far my least favorite quest line, I think, in that. Companions, I think, is the boring. Mainly because it has the most potential to be cool. Like, College of Winterhold isn't, is probably just as not exciting. But it isn't, like, it didn't have a lot more to go on. Like, I think they dropped the ball with the Companions. On the other hand, like, the Assassins and Thieves Guild in Skyrim are amazing. Assassin's Guild is always really good, though. Like, Oblivion's Assassin's Guild was awesome. Yeah, college wasn't bad. College, I think, took a little bit to get going, but college, I would put college above Companions. I think Companions is. Yeah, I think that's my issue. Like the college, I would love to see the college ones where you can only damage, like, put enemies that can only be killed by magic. Like in it. Just straight up. You can only kill enemies with magic. Like enemies that are immune to anything mundane. So you either have to, and I'm immune to magic weapons. They fly high, so you're having to shoot beams at them. You're having to lay traps, and you're having to use all the different types of spells that exist. But with that part done, we are going to leave it here for a night, as I've got some other work I need to get done. But I want to say massive thanks to everyone for coming, chatting, hobbying, hanging out. Been a great night tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night, and we will be doing a massive stream on New Year's Eve. That said, though, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, hit that notifications, all that sort of jazz. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to jump in and drop a donation via the super chat or a super sticker on one of our comments, buy some merch, or Patreon or YouTube member subscriptions. You go into the drawer to get a nice big hobby box to start your hobby year with a bang. So with that said, thank you all for coming or watching. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Ciao for now, everyone.